Hi everyone, and thank you for watching my video. In this video, I'm going to talk about the dream landscape, the astral world. And my motivation for talking about this particular topic right now is because I've had the same dream or a very similar type of dream about more than 3 times over the past like 1 or 2 months. And each time I'm in the dream, each time I have the dream, I explore more and more parts of it because it's pretty much the same dream. Nothing changes much. So it gives me like a constant atmosphere or situation that I can explore. It's not like my usual dreams where everything can just change at the drop of a dime and anything can be anything. The dream is rather stable, but it's a dream, so it's not really stable. And I'm going to talk about a lot of things in regards to dreams, such as sleep paralysis, dreams being a dimension or another realm of reality other than this, for example, the reality that we're doing right now. And I'm going to just go through even some of the symbology of dreams and what I think some certain things represented within my dream. And yeah, again, I'm going to use a real dream and I'm going to tell you about the dream. And as I go through it, I'm going to explain things and tell you what I experienced and just kind of break down and reveal what I feel or what I experienced, the fabric of that dream's reality to be. So, I'm talking about dreams, but this is, I'm really explaining it from real experiences that I have had very recently that I've really been paying attention to, which I feel like I've been kind of forced to pay attention to it because I keep repeatedly having the same dream. And at the end of the video, I'll go into some information that is very common, well known about dreams and the astral world, and kind of run through that and kind of teach about some of that stuff based on the common knowledge and the common sources that we find when we look to search for this type of information in regards to dreams. So I'll start by telling my dream. I'm going to tell the dream and just, stop and elaborate on certain points as I tell the dream. Okay, so the first time I had this dream, which was over a month ago, I dreamed that I was in this huge apartment building and I was up some floors. When I say huge, I'm talking like a really, really big apartment. Like it's an apartment building, but I've never seen any apartment building this huge before. And even my apartment was huge. My apartment had at least 8 rooms in it. And the apartment was old. It was a very old apartment. So I couldn't tell the time period of this dream. I couldn't tell if it was way off in the future I couldn't tell if it was way back in the past because I've never witnessed anything like this type of building before. So I had no frame of reference for time in regards to the dream. And the first time I had the dream, I was in my apartment and I left the door open. And I guess that comes from the reality of here where I live. This is a very, very safe area. I have no fear here of anyone doing anything to me or coming into my place. So quite often I leave the door open. I leave my door open. And I say that now because I'm leaving here pretty soon. So it doesn't matter if I leave the door open and someone knows. But I have no worry here. This is a pretty safe place. And I feel that safe. I leave my door open often. Whether it's well, I don't do it all the time to go to sleep. But oftentimes I forget. And I'm never worried about it. But in the dream, I left my door open to this apartment. Again, remember, it's a really strange place that I have never seen before in real life. this type of apartment. How huge was the apartment? The apartment was so huge that we're talking like a whole block, like a whole block. The apartment was big, like the whole. It covered like an entire block. And you think a block, typically a block can have like at least 4 or 5 buildings on it, but this apartment building could easily cover an entire block of under normal circumstances of how you would see an apartment building to exist. And so I left my door open, and I was in my apartment trying to sleep, and some entities came into my apartment, and I realized they were in there, and I got scared. I mean, someone entered my apartment. I got scared, and what I did was, I know it was like more than 2 or 3, so I didn't want to surprise them. So what I did was I hid myself within my own apartment. I hid. So I hid behind a couch in my apartment, and kind of waited what felt like it felt like 5 minutes. But again, the time, I couldn't judge the time, the real time in that situation. And finally, I just decided I thought of something. I said, okay, I'm going to make noise, but I'm not going to be seen, and maybe they'll hear the noise and they'll just leave. So I began beating something against the floor, but I stayed hidden behind the couch. And when I did this, the entities, they started coming out, but they didn't come out right away, and then they left. And that was that dream. And then I had the same type of dream, same setup again on a different night. I think it was the second or the third time. But this time, someone else came to my place. Again, I left my door open, but I left the door open, and some entities came to my place again. And this time, when they came to my place, I was kind of used to them. I remember the last dream. I was within the dream, and I remembered the last dream. And this time, it was like one entity, so I wasn't that afraid. And right away, I made some noise and tried to get his or whatever's attention. And it ran out of my apartment, and I chased it. I chased it out the apartment, and outside of the apartment, there's like a veranda or an outside catwalk or whatever you want to call it, where you go down the stairs or get to the elevator or whatever. Well, he ran around that, and I chased him. And the apartment is huge, and I didn't want to chase him too much because I wasn't familiar with where I was, the landscape. So I chased him just enough, and then I turned around. I went back to my apartment just to be safe, because like, hey, you may be running into a dangerous situation. So I went back to my place, and then I had the dream again. I had the same type of dream like a third or fourth time, and this time I had the dream, and it was multiple entities in this dream inside of my place. This time I think the door was locked this time. I don't know how they even got in this time. And that kind of rang bells to me of these aren't regular people. So I wasn't scared either. So I just said, hey, why are you here? Why you're in my apartment? Why are you here? What are you doing? Are you trying to steal something? And like the others, I assumed they were just taking stuff and trying to steal stuff. And I want to keep safe. I don't want to bother them. And I noticed that they didn't really listen. They couldn't hear me. They didn't really hear me that well. And I spoke louder, and I walked up towards them. And what I realized was that they couldn't really see me or hear me really. And I started speaking louder. I spoke louder, and they kind of heard me. They kind of heard me a little bit. And then I kind of realized right there that the way they were looking, they were kind of looking around like this, that even to them, they saw me as like some type of ghost. It's like I was in their world, and they were sensing me as like a ghost or something like this. And I was seeing them as just some dream entities. And that was that dream. Of course, a lot more things happen in these dreams, but these are just the parts that I remember. And last night I had the same type of dream again, and it got even stranger. In this dream, same type of things happened, and there was an entity in my place. I was like, hey, I was braver this time because I'm used to these dreams. I've had multiple of these same type of dreams, so I'm braver. And I just came at the entity, and I was like screaming at him, like, why are you here? What do you want? That type of thing. And he kind of ignored me, but I screamed more and more, and I realized he wasn't ignoring me. It's like I was like a ghost to him or something. He couldn't see me. And maybe he was afraid of me if he could see me. It was like I was in his world. And I just kind of gave up, and eventually he left. Like, he didn't leave right away. He left. He left out on his own schedule. And I laid on a huge couch. It was like a bed. Like, it wasn't a bed. It was like a huge dream couch, I guess. So I laid on my couch, and the entity came back into my place, and he laid on the couch kind of close to me. Keep in mind, the couch is huge. The couch is really wide. And he was like, he laid like over here in this area of the couch. And it really just freaked me out. Again, I just freaked out. And I started looking at him. And I realized that he was asleep. It was like he was sleepwalking or something. He wasn't really awake. He was asleep, or on like some really heavy drugs or something like this. He wasn't coherent. And at this point, I started seeing the face, and I was getting really freaked out, and I got really afraid in the dream, and my heart was beating really rapidly. And I was like, let me out. I was really freaking out and just trying to escape, and really scared and frantic and psychotic in that moment. And at this point, I didn't want to be there, and I was just trying to break away and break free. And finally, like I broke away, and I realized that I was dreaming, because I woke up and I was sweating. I had a deep sweat going, and my heart was beating really hard, really fast. And I'm guessing that's the reason why I woke up. My heartbeat woke me up. So, like, those multiple experiences of being in this dream world, having the same dream repeatedly over and over and over, and each dream, I'm getting smarter and smarter and smarter, and I'm exploring things and thinking more. And dreams are especially the last dream, it was a very lucid dream. Like, I realized that I was dreaming, or I didn't know I was dreaming while I was dreaming, but I knew that things were just really strange, and there was just way too much thinking going on in this dream. And this also, I had like a sleep paralysis thing going, because when I was trying to break free, I felt I was trying to move and I couldn't move, and I was even kind of like trying to swing at the guy or the entity or whatever, and I couldn't touch him. And I just felt like I couldn't get away, and I was trying to get away, and I couldn't move, and the whole sleep paralysis thing kicked in, and it was just a really, really scary experience because I've never experienced sleep paralysis before. Well, maybe, yeah, maybe a long time ago as a kid, but now I haven't experienced sleep paralysis before until now. And I've just been hearing about sleep paralysis a few months back, where you just like watching videos and reading and seeing things about sleep paralysis. And what that brought to my mind was manifestation and the power of manifestation, whether it be positive or negative manifestation. It was kind of like I wheeled that whole scenario into reality. And I had a what's it called again? I had that dream where sleep paralysis. I had sleep paralysis where I just felt frozen, and I was kind of stuck in where I was and this reality. I was in like some middle area, and yeah, so that's what I want to talk about. Me exploring the astral world, because I have a deep curiosity of what dreams actually are, and what that is. It a dimension? Is it just imagination? Is it the other side? Like, I'm trying to understand what it is, and the series of dreams gave me a lot of insight on that world. And okay, let's talk about some symbology of the dream and see what we come up with. Okay, so again, we take it back a little bit. It was a huge building, huge building. What could that represent? What do buildings represent in dreams? So I'll come back to that later, I guess, at the end when I share with you information about dream symbology and the astral world, and I'll give you the more formal take on this. So it's a huge building. It was futuristic or historic. I could not tell. The time was unrecognizable. Never seen anything like that before. My apartment had way more rooms than I could count. Oh yeah, something I didn't bring up while explaining the dreams was that I'm assuming, well, at first I assumed that the entities were poor people trying to rob me or something like this. And then later in the series, like as I got to the third, fourth, and fifth dream, I learned that maybe they weren't poor people, and maybe I wasn't in a poor area where you have to really watch your stuff and guard yourself and worry about getting robbed or someone breaking and stealing your stuff. And even like when I got to as I evolved from dream to dream to dream, I realized that they probably weren't even looking for anything or trying to steal anything. They were doing something else. That's how I interpret it from my mind's eye. And also, what else did I see in the dream that could be symbology? Also, in the later dreams, I got closer looks at the entities. Now, the first dream, I didn't really see them. I don't know if they were male, female. I just know they were, or even human. I just knew that it was like an entity. It was like a body, but I'm not really worried about how it looks. I just don't want it didn't want it to be there with me. It's just the whole situation was strange. I just wanted to not be in that situation. So I didn't really look at them, and it's night also. And when we get to the second and third dream, I got closer and closer looks at them, at the entities. And last night with the dream, I got a very close look at the entity and even saw his face, and it looked kind of like a person, but it wasn't a person. It was energy. It was like just an energetic expression. It wasn't a person. It was like just the energetic expression of energy, if that makes any sense. And what I realized like last night in that dream was that he wasn't aware of me, and I was aware of him. I was a ghost to him, or maybe, and he was to me a ghost. He was like an astral entity. I'm just calling it a ghost for lack of words. And it even led me to more thoughts. Maybe he is someone meeting me here, and I have to, or I don't have to, but I'm meeting someone in a different world, or he's trying to communicate a message to me. Really thought about it, really thought it through, and I'm still thinking about it and still thinking it through. So that's my that's my story of my dream and my journey through the astral world, and explaining and talking about what the astral world is. And there's no better way to explain something like this than by taking you through a real situation and just talking through it. I think, a lot of us, we can learn more if we just talk about what we experience, even if we just feel it inside. And a lot of people think, it's imagination, so we shouldn't talk about it. It's taboo and this type of thing. But children, the younger a child is, they're more in that world. They're more in that fantasy world. And the older they get, they kind of shed that world, and they stay here, stay grounded here. And who's to say that their world is their child world, where they come from, and they slowly phase out as they become adults? Who's to say that world is not the real world? Where was I going? I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, I'm going to stop here with this portion of the video, and let's learn some things about the astral world and dreams, and we'll wrap this up after this. So I've talked about the dream already. So now let's talk about symbolism of the dream, what everything means. Because everything in a dream, everything that you imagine in your dream or whatever's in your dream, they have meanings. Everything, every little detail that you catch in your dream, and even the things that you don't catch, have meaning. So it is of utmost importance that you pay attention to every single detail in your dream if you want to get the full meaning of your dream and understand what it is. Now, dreams are often thought to be messages from a higher source, your higher self, your God, your master, your ancestor, whomever you deem greater than you. So, in a dream, what many people believe dreams to be, and in my own personal life and my own personal experiences, I've seen dreams to have meaning and to pass me messages and be prophetic. So I'm assuming that my dream is a prophecy. It's or clues. It's telling me, it's guiding me in life and telling me what I need to do or what's going to happen or something like this. I don't have very little doubt in that, since through life I've experienced this over and over. So my doubt is diminishing as time goes on. It's far, far less now. So let's start with some symbols in the dream. The dream I told you about, it was pretty simple, right? But I left out a lot of important things in that dream, such as the details, because I can't talk too much about the details without dulling the story down too much. So, I talked about a building, a really huge building. So let's take a look into what buildings mean to get further understanding of what the building may represent in my dream. So buildings have lots of different meanings. When you see a building in your dream, and I'm going to read this, the dream interprets fortune, money, wealth, and opportunities one will have in the coming future. This dream thrown from your subconscious mind tells you that you have worked hard for a very long time, and it's now your turn to get rewards of your work. Also, it tells you never stop attitude until you achieve what you want. So it represents these things or something related to these things. I doubt it just means that you're gonna get these things. But this is a theme in your life or in your existence. This could be a theme, these types of things, if you see a building. And for my building was my apartment. And I'm starting with building because my apartment, the apartment building that I lived in was massive. It was bigger than anything I've ever seen in real life, or even in a movie or anything. This is original to my mind. And let's look at some other things about buildings to get to see some more clues. Buildings. Okay, dreaming about a building with lots of rooms. Now, my apartment, I don't know about the rest of the building that I lived in. I didn't see the rest of it, but my apartment had lots of rooms. Remember, I was telling you I had at least 8 rooms in my apartment, and the entities that came into my apartment were going through the rooms and searching those rooms. I don't even know how many rooms I had. I know there were at least 8, and I could see down the hall, but I didn't go down the hall to count and see the rooms. But there were lots of rooms in my apartment. And I'll tell you what rooms mean, because, some symbolism. The dream interprets the confusion in your life. You are crowded with so many thoughts. You are a positive thinker, but you don't have direction. You achieve something in your life. To achieve something in your life, you must give yourself goals and walk on the path of your goals. So that could be telling me that I have lots of options, lots of choices, and or opportunities, and I'm not taking advantage of them. I don't know which way to go, and I need to make a plan. By the way, a lot of these things are quite relevant because I am in a transitional period in my life where I'm about to move on and do something very different in a very, very short time, real soon, actually in a couple of days. And let's see, I think that's all about the building. We'll go to something else. So condition of the building. Yeah, everything matters. So the condition of the building. My building, it looked at very, very old, or it had like an old style. I don't know if it was like old and fragile, because it seemed really, really sturdy. It was just massive, and it looked kind of dusty. Maybe the area was dusty, which made me kind of think it was historic or very old or something like this, something kind of ancient. But everything was well taken care of. It was very old, but everything was very well taken care of, kind of like antiques. And I'll talk about antiques in a moment and explain what that represents in a moment. So this dream was a recurring dream, meaning I had this dream at least 4 times over less than 2 months, at least 4 times. So it's a recurring dream. And recurring dreams typically tend to be the spirit world really trying to get your attention about something. They're really trying to you really need to pay attention. Which I just started paying attention now that we're at dream 4. The first couple of times just dream, but now we're at dream 4, so now I'm like, I'm gonna pay attention to this. So recurring dreams about a house with many rooms is not a spiritual sign that you should joke with. So it says this is pretty important according to this source. I'll read this. It is a spiritual indication of a lot of special things. Having this type of dream reminds you of the past, cautions you of the present, and prepares you for the future. Therefore, it is important to always pay attention to this dream whenever it comes. Why will you have recurring dreams about a house with many rooms? This dream will come when you have failed to pay attention to numerous spiritual signs around you. Okay, so maybe something's trying to really get my attention, and I'm not catching the signs, I guess, based on this. So it says the universe is trying to get my attention, and this article is talking about what it means to have a bunch of rooms. So again, it's all about the details. So here, what it means if the rooms are open, there's open doors, open rooms. So of course, I didn't say it, so not of course. The rooms in my apartment, they were open. The intruders were going through the doors, so they were open, and even my front door, my entrance door, was open. So all the doors were open, and so let's see what this means when these doors are open and stuff, or what they could possibly mean. It's up for interpretation. So spiritual meaning of recurring dream about a house. So it wasn't a house, but I'm gonna go with house for a moment. Guess we'll just have to take this and discern it to my situation, which you would have to do if you were trying to figure out your own dream situation. So spiritual meaning of a recurring dream about a lot of rooms. Okay, so let's look through this and see what they have to say about this. Okay, one, it says you are accommodating, maybe like helping a lot of people, or providing for a lot of people. Here, I'll read some of this. This is one of the meanings of recurring dreams about a house with many rooms. In the spiritual world, the house represents your heart, while the many rooms are a sign of how large your heart is. Accommodating people. I could see that. I'm pretty accommodating in life, even to a flaw sometimes, where I think people try to run over me. And perhaps it's trying to tell me something like that. Even like lately, I've been really trying to take up for myself in this type of thing, because I don't even see it sometimes. And really kind of at this point, kind of like tired of it, and trying to just change and really turn to a new person in regards to that. So yeah, it could be that. I got a lot of rooms in my house. It says number 2, you're confused about too many things. So a lot of rooms, confusion. And I won't read this. And then 3, you are in a season of numerous opportunities. Yeah, there's a big change happening. I'm actually about to get another job. I'm actually searching for another job, and I have a lot of choices for the job that I'm trying to get. And the choices are, I could end up in a lot of different countries. So this is like international job search. So this is definitely a factor here. So, you could take this information and apply it to your own life, just sharing my situation with you. Learn to embrace people. What does that mean? It's encouraging you to embrace people's diverse opinions. So it's saying take in people that are different from you, and really appreciate what they have to say. I try to do that. I want to do that. It's how I like to be, how I want to be. You have a lot of talent and skills, while the many rooms are your numerous talents and skills. So the rooms can represent my many talents and skills. Maybe I don't see what else I can do, and what I have, my resources and such. Here it says marriage, but here it's dreams about a house with 3 rooms. So there was definitely more than 3. There was more, at least 8 rooms in my place. And a house with multiple rooms or a certain number of rooms. Here, 3 rooms comprises the couple and their in-laws. So, marriage and the addition of inviting more family over and that type of thing, if that's your case. So, if that was a situation, if you're already in a relationship, then start making wedding plans with your spouse. This dream reveals timing. So, it's, could be trying to tell you that if that's the case for you. And always accomplish your plans. Dreams of seeing a house with more than 100 rooms. So if you have like a bunch of rooms, you're not following your plans through probably. And I don't even know how many rooms is in my apartment. I know there were at least 8. So it's probably telling me to really follow through things and don't leave them unfinished. Once I start something, finish them. Learn new things about your career. Definitely a career intersection for me. And the next one, try to understand your friends. The rooms can represent like a lack of understanding, or you don't understand people. And universe, in this case, the universe could be showing you by representing the rooms. The universe is trying to show you traits, mindset, and paradigms of your friends that you don't know about. So it could be like different areas of different aspects of your friends' personalities or your loved ones or people close to you. You are giving birth to a child. That is not me. And you have a recurring dream about a house with 5 rooms. So particularly in this one, 5 rooms, it speaks about giving birth to a child. So remember details. Here they're telling different numbers of rooms mean different things. And number 11, you're protected from harm. This is a sign of, when the rooms are closed, this is a sign of protection. So I guess maybe I'm not protected from harm. Maybe I need to protect myself because all my doors are open in my place, even the outside door. And so if the doors are locked or closed, you are safe from the effect of an evil eye from your friend. So maybe it's telling me to watch my back or something like that. I hope not. Okay, so do a couple more here. Next, historic building. Now, I mentioned before that the building is very, very old or futuristic. I don't know if it's from the future or it's from the deep past. But I looked at historic buildings. I guess I should have looked up futuristic buildings too, which I don't have it here to read, but I'll tell you about historic if the building is historic, which I think is historic. Because in the dream, I can tell if it was like a very old building in the future or a very old building from the past. All I know is that it was massive. It looked like something that could never be built now. So I assume it's from the future, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily from the future because maybe ancient and old civilizations, some of them were very, very advanced and they got eliminated or eradicated by the creator some kind of a way. And, it's maybe things started over and now we're here and we think we're the most advanced, but there were probably civilizations way more advanced than we are now. So historic buildings, I'll read this. Historic buildings are an emphasis regarding spiritual energy. So if a historic building appears within your dream, this means that your conscious is drawing your awareness of the ability inside your mind. Dreams about aged or historical structures are associated with the past. Days are gone by and also old friends and encounters. To be in a historical building means that people are going to come back into your life. There is also possible dangers right now in regards to a friendship. The building may also represent an unimportant way of life or perhaps your old-fashioned way of life. The actual building may possibly be a castle. If this is the case, this will point to your defenses in life. So how is this applicable to me? So for me, this could be someone coming back to my life because I've been kind of isolated, self-isolated for my own reasons. And people could easily come back into my life because I'm about to make a move, and I could, get in touch with people. Who knows? I have no idea what this is talking about. I know what's possible, but I don't know exactly what it's talking about here. And old-fashioned ways of life. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I have my own paradigms and my ways of thinking that I'm kind of stuck to. I don't want to be stuck to anything because I want my mind open and fresh and flowing free like water. I don't want to be stuck in anything because I don't want to I want to keep my mind fertile for growth. And the other one, oh yeah, so it says historic building, so it's definitely like something monumental, something historic, something huge. I've never seen that type of apartment building before. So it's spiritual. It's spiritual energy, spiritual meaning. So it's a pretty spiritual thing in that dream based on this. So it's talking about abilities inside of the mind, and when you dream of buildings usually represent your life and your mind and everything that keeps you stable. Because the building is where you live, and you can think of it as like earth energy, everything that represents stability in life. So this building could kind of represent earth-like energy, and it's talking about the stability that one has in life. Or so what I could take from this, and I've read this also, is that my building was massive. There's either like a massive opportunity, or there's a massive set of qualities within me that I'm not accessing, massive resource that I'm not accessing. Or maybe it's saying that I'm sitting on top of something huge that I'm not realizing. I hope so. If that's the case, I'm going to be looking. I got my eyes open. So last thing, or one of the last things, and then I'll wrap this up. So now let's talk about the characters in the dream. I couldn't really find anything exact to talk about that would describe the characters in my dream. But what came to mind is ghosts. So I looked up information about ghosts. There's an article, eight meanings when you dream about ghosts. So I'll talk a little bit about ghosts here and what they may have meant in my dream. And of course, you can take the information and apply it to your own life, your own dreams, and kind of see what fits and make your own discernments. Okay, so ghosts. There's different. Ghosts in dreams. Look, I'll read some of this. Symbolism of dreams about ghosts. A ghost in your dreams stands for a person or thing you cannot go over. Also, you may have unfounded fear or unfinished business. Still, meanings can vary depending on circumstances in the dream. Below, we explore the possible interpretations. So, yeah, so ghosts are usually something that you can't touch, something that you can't get away from, something that you have no control over, that type of thing. So fears. I'll read this. We all have our other or subconscious side that expresses what we cannot in words. Since ghosts are supernatural and beyond our reach, they can stand for our concerns. This anxiety may be something you wouldn't like to admit and want to suppress. So it could be something scary or something embarrassing. It could be something like that when you start talking about ghosts. So of course, unresolved matters, something that you haven't fixed or completely gotten rid of or straightened out. I'll read this. Dreaming of ghost dreams may also refer to unfinished matters with other people. For instance, if you owe a substantial amount of money, it is likely to have nightmares of spirits trying to attack you. Such recurring dreams can be tormenting unless you resolve this issue. So if you owe somebody some money or something like that, that's not me. Memories. See what this says. not being able to just get over something in your life, something that keeps a haunting memory or something like this. Jealousy. I'm going to skip jealousy because I don't think I'm jealous of anyone. Adventure. Since ghosts stand for the unknown, they may reveal your longings to explore new worlds. Maybe you've been in your comfort zone for too long and think it's high time to turn a new page. Basking in security is never challenging nor thrilling. You want to savor the unexplored aspects of life and make it more memorable. On the adverse side, ghost dreams represent your inclination to try out risky ideas. That's adventure. That definitely could be a theme with me. I'm ready to go and explore and travel and continue seeing what this world is all about, seeing what a human being is all about, and seeing just understanding and exploring as much as I can while I'm here. That's what I want to do while I'm here, incarnated in this. So, and we for the past few years we've had the lockdown. I've been stuck in the same place, isolation, country area for like the past 3 years, and finally I'm about to be free in a couple of days. So it's gonna be a big deal for me. So it's definitely, those ghosts could possibly be that. Illness. I don't think this applies to me, but I feel great. But you never know. I'll read this. Could apply to others. Having ghost dreams is very common if you suffer from a severe illness, since you often think about death. Your fears manifest in your night visions. More so, the dream can warn you of a sickness you haven't found out yet. The most adverse interpretation of dreams about dark spirits foretells financial difficulties or problems in your private and professional life. You're about to face significant loss or unexpected hardships. That sounds tough. Uncertainty. Night visions with phantoms can also embody your indecisiveness. Some circumstances are not clear enough, so you can't reach the right decisions. Moreover, you're uncertain about taking next steps and need someone to confirm what course of action to take. So you're trying to make a big decision, and I'm doing that. That could be something. Regret. So it could be talking about you regretting making a past decision, and just you're tired of thinking about like, oh, I should have did this, and that type of thing. Your mind indicates that something is haunting you, and you can't move on. You can't move on from something. I have things in my mind. I have regrets. I have things I want to fix and move on with, and yeah, it's applicable. Possible scenarios. I'll read this. Once we have elaborated on overall meaning of dreams involving ghosts, let's look at the specifics of your dreamy spectacles. Below are the most frequent scenarios that you may experience at night. So the ghost could do certain things with you, interact in certain ways with you, and those have meanings too. But I'm not gonna go into that. I'll just wrap the video up by just talking a little bit about the fabric of the reality of that world, the astral world. And I think I'm gonna make a video very soon, just totally dedicated to the astral world, just talking about the astral world. I think that we need to know what that's all about, and kind of jump down off in there so you understand it. And this is manifestation. By learning and talking about these things, it brings it to life. It's like you're in a dark room and you put a flashlight on things, and now you know where things are, and you just move different through life. And if you're in a room, I'm using, for my analogy, I'm using a dark room, and you don't know what's what, you don't know what's in front of you, and you have a flashlight and you can see things. You can just totally move different through that world. And in life, I made a video about, we are blind in this life. We only see a very small amount of what is here in this life. Even on the brightest, sunniest day, we are blind and we don't see anything. We feel we do. We only see what this body allows us to see, which is almost nothing. And I say all that to say, which kind of forgot what I was trying to say here with that. But with the astral world, it's very, it's a very limited world too, based on what I've seen, particularly in this dream and even past dreams. The astral world, it has like a certain theme each time, or a certain place each time. It's never, nothing's ever constant. It's different. The world is different every time. It's always, it's a constant changing thing. And they say that it's highly instinctive, and it has to be highly instinctive, I guess, because what I just did here by looking at all these all the different symbolism. So it has to be very instinctive. And why, I guess you have to ask yourself, why are you getting symbols, and who's sending the symbols to you? And I guess the logical train of thought is your higher self, or whoever's behind the veil, whoever's bigger than you, whoever's on the outside that's kind of guiding us on this whole thing, whoever you consider that to be. And somehow they're getting that message to you through that astral world, that dream world. And for that reason, I don't think that the dream world or the astral world is heaven, hell, or the afterlife and that type of thing. I think it's something total separate from those places, because it's way too, there's way too much it doesn't seem like it just seems like it's totally, I know it's not a good explanation, but based on what I've seen, and it's just my own observation, it doesn't look, it looks like they're totally separate from one another. So I'll stop the video here. I'll wrap it up here with this dream video. I hope you took something from it. I hope it was informative. If you like my video, please show some love, drop a comment, hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. If you're subscribed, I love and appreciate you. Thank you so much. And hit that notification icon to get updates on my videos. It'll help my channel, help the algorithm, and help me spread my vision, and connect with more people, and just really blast this thing off. I'm really all in. So if you can really appreciate and expect that, if you can really appreciate that, please support it by doing these small gestures of help for me. Thank you so much. I love you all. I love you all. You take care of yourself. I am gone.